After catching up with the entire anime, I picked 5 reasons to prove that the Straw Hats are actually terrible pirates. They are terrible pirates, bro. They are very powerful, let's not lie, but then their decision-making skills could use some help, like they could use some work. It's so bad! Anyways, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I'm 𝚑𝚎𝚎, and on this channel, we make strictly One Piece videos. From reactions, rankings, debates, reviews, you name it. So if you're a One Piece fan and that's your vibe, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Join the family. Join the family. Join the family. Anyways, without further ado, let's run right into the video. So, at number 1, we have Luffy punching a celestial dragon in 𝚑𝚎𝚎. That one decision messed up a lot of things. That decision summoned the whole Navy Admiral Kizaru after them. It brought a whole pacifist force after them, and because of that, it literally ended the whole pre-time skip era of One Piece. Like literally, just because of this one decision. Him punching a celestial dragon led to all those events. If it wasn't for 𝚑𝚎𝚎 and Kuma, they would have never made it out alive. I'm just saying that was a horrible decision. Yes, I understand, it's very valid, and that's what we love Luffy for, because he embodies freedom. That's the whole point of One Piece, right? He doesn't really care about consequences, but that was a horrible decision. It's just that he has plot armor sometimes, though. But it makes sense. The anime makes it make sense because he's a Sankanika and Fate and all that stuff, the Wheel of D. But hey, still was a bad decision. I'm just saying. At number 2, we have Luffy forgiving Usopp immediately. See, the post-Enies Lobby's arc, the conflict between Luffy and Usopp regarding the Mary, and how Luffy decided that they needed a new crew going forward, making an executive decision as the captain of the crew, and Usopp not liking the idea because he felt like the Mary was more than just a ship. It was a gift from a friend, you know, it was an irreplaceable crewmate, you know. He felt like he could not go along with this decision, completely defying his captain. So you know what Usopp did? He decided to leave the crew. He left the crew and challenged Luffy to a freaking duel, defying his captain, right? Cool. And then they fought, and then obviously Luffy won the fight. Usopp lost the fight. Because of that whole thing happening, Usopp was officially expelled from the Straw Hats because he defied his captain. But then afterwards, while the Straw Hats were leaving Water 7, Luffy was so quick and willing to accept Usopp back into the crew, forgiving Usopp for what he did. But Zoro said, yo, if you do that, I'm leaving the crew. Yeah, because a captain who cannot stand by his word is not fit to lead. I cannot follow a man like that, you know what I'm saying? Usopp has to apologize first. And I'm completely with Zoro, because that makes a lot of sense. You can't just have a crew member defy you, disobey your orders in front of the whole crew, disrespect you in a way, and then just be so quick to let him back into the crew because we're friends and all that stuff. That poses a big problem going forward, because that's an establishing moment of what the hierarchy system in the Straw Hats is like. So if the captain of the Straw Hats himself is a pushover like that, it's not gonna be good going forward. You know what I'm saying? It was a horrible decision. So yeah, luckily Luffy didn't make the decision, and they followed Zoro's guidance, and then Usopp apologized and he was welcomed back into the crew. But yeah, the problem here is Luffy being so quick to forgive Usopp and welcome him back to the crew without any proper apology. You know, that would have been a mess. Anyways, at number 3, we have splitting the crew after Punk Hazard. So after Punk Hazard, they have the kids. They have 𝚑𝚎𝚎, who they plan to use as a hostage to threaten Kaido, and they have Law and Luffy's alliance, right? So they decide to split the crew. Half the crew goes to Zou, and the other half goes to Dressrosa to apprehend Doflamingo and destroy the Smile Factory, right? And then the other half goes to Zou. My chat is, yo, you guys are going to fetch such a big threat and you decide to split your forces. That can't be a good idea. That can't be a good idea. What do you mean? Imagine me and you are in a pirate ship, we're in a pirate crew, and we decide to go face freaking Bartholomew Kuma, Warlord of the Sea, Jakku, Mihawk, bro, and we decide, you know what, I'm gonna go to Mihawk and you're gonna go back home just to make sure the house is clean so that when I get back, we can have dinner or something. That don't make any sense. You don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. I personally think it's a stupid decision. It was necessary though, because they had to get the kids to a safe spot. You know, the kids were traumatized after what they've been through all these years, so they had to get the kids to a safe spot, and they had to go away with 𝚑𝚎𝚎 and keep him safe. You know, so I guess it was an executive decision that was needed in a way. But then I don't know. I still think it was dumb. They could have gone to Zou first and then gone to Dressrosa afterwards. But yeah, they decided to split these forces. I just don't think it's a good idea. And last but not least, we have Luffy breaking into Impel Down. He broke into Impel Down with no plan whatsoever, not thinking of all the consequences this move would entail. Yes, he was under pressure. He wanted to save his brother Ace before Ace was sent to Marineford. There was not enough time to plan everything out, so he decided to just go impulsively and emotionally driven. He went all the way to Impel Down and broke in. This is not a good idea, because dude, there's so many threats in Impel Down. There's freaking level 6 prisoners, level 5 prisoners. You're gonna find the staff are very powerful. The Impel Down is the most secure prison in the world right now. What do you mean you're going to infiltrate Impel Down, get your brother out of there, and you're gonna survive? I swear, if he wasn't the main character, that should have never happened. That would have never. If he wasn't the main character, if he didn't have the Will of D, that would have never happened. that decision doesn't make sense. Like, it just genuinely doesn't make sense. Like, think about it. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I get it. He didn't have enough time to cook a proper plan. It was just a whole mess. Okay, fine. But I still had to edit to the list because it wasn't a good decision to make. But yeah, I don't know. He could have maybe go after Ace when he was transferred to Marineford. Maybe have like a whole plan where a bunch of allies come with him and participate in the Marineford war. You know, I feel like the stakes of him going into Impel Down alone compared to the stakes of him fighting in the war at Marineford to save Ace are basically the same, because on the one side he's alone. He's going into Impel Down alone. There's so many threats in there. There's so much that could happen. The chances of him coming out alive are so scarce, you know, compared to the Marineford war. If he had a solid plan, he had allies, you have Whitebeard's whole freaking crew, and you know, it's a whole war, he would have much higher chances of survival. You know what I'm saying? I think it would have been a better decision to make. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying. But yeah, I had to edit to the list. I'm not hating though. I'm not hating. I had to make this list. Okay, so yeah, let me know if I missed anything down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I was wrong. Let me know if I was right. If you reached this part of the video, you're a real one. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate y'all. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below what you think. Peace out. Now come on, check you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you guys. Amazing. You guys are amazing.